So the Indiana Fever today, well, not today, a few days ago, we're talking about how they needed vets. And obviously the one position where Indiana really, and I mean really, really need a vet is at the power forward position. Or they just need to replace is the power forward position. Like, Alyssa Smith is their weakness. And the one free agent, well, unrestricted free agent that a lot of people were thinking maybe could be that player was Nneka Ogwumike. So the thing with Nneka Ogwumike is, realistically, she is the quote-unquote best player available. No doubt about that. Like, she is probably the best player that you could possibly have gotten in free agency as far as just best right now. Obviously, Satu's not really a vet as far as vets are concerned. But obviously, it's not. This is not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and I think it was kind of a given that she, like, not forced away to Seattle, but she's happy in Seattle. And problem is that the only real vet, high-level power forward, is Natasha Howard. She doesn't really play defense either, and shoots a lot of threes for someone who's bad at shooting threes. Look, upgrade on Alyssa Smith. If it's a one-year deal, I'm pretty sure she's a champion. She's a former defensive player of the year. Again, not right now a defensive player of the year, but was at one stage a pretty good defender for Natasha Howard. But obviously, the Nneka Ogwumike thing is looking like it's not going to happen. So we are going to show you, I'm going to show you guys what was said on a podcast with Sue Bird. With Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe from Nneka Ogwumike.
As of right now, there's 2 black coaches in the league. She's the only female black coach in the league. And you've said that this is the first time you felt truly represented by your coaching staff. Can you explain your experience this year and the significance of that, especially at this stage in your career? You've been in the league for a long time.
I was about to say, I was like, who's the other coach? But I was like, I actually do not. I'm not going to lie. Like, I have no idea what coaches are what race. I actually genuinely don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. Like, as just someone that wants basketball, I just want a Christy Sides as far away from that team as possible. I don't care who they replaced her with. Just anyone. It could be, like, you could literally have replaced her with, I don't know, someone who didn't speak English, and I'd probably be happy. Because, you know, someone not speaking English is probably better than Christy Sides speaking English.
Time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've had so many different coaches. I've connected with so many different coaches. I don't think I've ever looked at a coach and like seen myself in a coach, perhaps, like the way that I have with not even just Noelle, but, you know, with Eb as well. I played with Eb, so there's already that existing relationship there.
You're old, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, like, I'd said it, like, on Twitter, it's like, she's not going to play for Stephanie White. Like, is it a big deal? I actually just don't care necessarily. Like, anybody, let's be real, anyone can want to play anywhere for any coach for whatever reason they want. Like, it doesn't really matter. But the fact Noelle Quinn was not a very good coach probably isn't the ideal coach to, like, triple down playing for. And also the Seattle Storm giving up. I'm pretty sure they gave up. What did they give up for Nneka Ogwumike? Or was it a 1-year deal? I'm pretty sure they give up the pick. But how did what's the names get the pick? The Storm get the pick. Not Storm, the Sparks get the pick. So she is signed? I have no idea. It just said she signed. It said she signed here with the thing, with the Storm. How did the Sparks get the Rickea Jackson pick? I have no idea. Either way, like, that was a weird, not a weird move from Nneka Ogwumike. In hindsight, probably not the best move from her. Like, she's nearing the end of her career, and she's at a team where they're not going to win. Even if they bring Gabby Williams back, they got swept by the Aces. The Aces aren't that good. They got swept by the Aces. You've got Jordan Horston, who's basically just Gabby Williams, sitting on the bench now, I guess. Ezzy Magbagor being probably the best young center in the league, not named Aaliyah Boston. So, like that, Aaliyah or Ezzy Magbagor helps. But like, Jewel Lloyd forgot how to shoot last year. The team absolutely stunk the year before. Skylar Diggins isn't getting any younger. Like, not the greatest decision in hindsight. And no offense to Noelle Quinn, she's not the best coach in the world. She is genuinely not. So, yeah, like, obviously I just saw here when it came to the Spark, or is the Storm got the 2026 first round pick it was to get off Kia Nurse so that they could sign Nneka Ogwumike. They took the Kia Nurse contract basically. So they got just a 2026 first round pick to get the fourth pick. So that's how they got Rickea Jackson. So in hindsight, good trade for the Sparks. Good trade for the Sparks, especially in their rebuild. But she's not going to be playing for Indiana. Nneka Ogwumike is going to probably play out her career with Noelle Quinn. And it's unlikely the Storm are going to fire Noelle Quinn, because if they fire Noelle Quinn, Nneka Ogwumike could walk, and they have not necessarily mortgaged their future, but like they're not near rebuilding mode. Like, they're still going to run it back a couple more years with Jewel Lloyd, with her and Skylar Diggins, until they just get too old and it's done. Like, Nneka Ogwumike was awful in the playoffs, but she was really good in the regular season. I do have to say, she was really good in the regular season. And if I was Nneka, if it's a purely basketball decision, Indiana's the best place for her, but it's not basketball. Like, if she wanted to win, if she wanted to kind of prolong her career, I mean, she's the best player in Seattle. And the problem is that Jewel Lloyd and Skylar Diggins, again, she's going to have to take more of an offensive load than she would in Indiana. And yeah, like, it's not going to prolong her career. But look, she's happy in Seattle. She's happy in Seattle. Let her stay in Seattle. They might win a playoff series next year. And look, at least there's no speculation about whether or not Nneka Ogwumike could be that free agent spot for the Fever. Because I do think there's going to be a lot of players looking to go there. I still genuinely think that there's like one, and I mean one player, that if I was the Fever, I would go for over Satu, just because of money-wise. Because you don't need to trade anything necessarily to get her. You don't need to give up your first-round pick to get her. Is Janelle Salone from... she's French. She's the age of a college senior, and she'd be the number 2 overall pick if she's in this draft. But I think Nneka Ogwumike, who would be the perfect player, you ideally want a vet, and if you're not going to get a vet, get a hungry young player, because what you don't want is a Natasha Howard who's just kind of coming off a season where her team sucked and is washed, for lack of a better word, is washed. Not a bad player, but is washed. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. See you guys.